Let's go ahead and bring in NBC 10 Boston political commentator, my at-issue co-host Sue O'Connell. Sue, Vice President Harris has been in this race for more than 50 days now. Everyone already knows who Donald Trump is. Right. How are people still undecided about this? Talk to us about these undecided voters. I know you know a couple of them.
Yep.
How have they not made up their minds yet?
Well, as you noted, Corey, I've been looking for them. I've been seeking them out. I talked to several undecided voters in Greater Boston over the past week, and I've been reading and watching a number of interviews focusing on undecided voters. And look, their reasons for their indecision seem to be all over the map. There's one woman I spoke to in Boston last week, and she was trying to decide which was more important to her reproductive rights, which she thought Harris would protect, or the economy, which she thought Trump was stronger on. And then there was a man I spoke to who said he's definitely going to vote, and he will vote for either Harris or Trump, but he doesn't like major parties, so he hadn't made up his mind yet. And we're looking at many reports that are showing these undecided voters who are asking to see more policy information from each candidate, which, as we know, is hard to get from the candidates in debates, and it's actually hard to get from news reports. So here's my message. If you're one of those undecided voters, you can actually find it yourself. The policy from the candidates is on their website, or you can use this thing called the Google machine and look at a trusted news source or source for the information. You don't need to wait for the candidate to tell you what they're going to do.
All right, so we know Republicans have been talking a lot about parenthood over the course of the campaign, and not all parenthood, mainly just heterosexual couples and their biological children or lack thereof. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders slighted Kamala Harris the other day for not having her own biological children, and we've seen numerous past clips of J.D. Vance discussing this issue. There are a lot of voters out there who don't have kids, who can have kids, or who have blended families. What is the goal in sort of making them feel like outsiders?
That's a great question, Corey. I think their goal was to make Harris seem like she wasn't one of them and to promote some unrealistic vision of what a family is, and in that way hoping to energize women to vote for Trump. But considering that it was blatant cruelty, I think it's going to backfire. Look, let's just look at the math, right? Trump has a gender gap problem. More men than women say they will vote for him. But Huckabee Sanders' disgusting comment probably did more harm to Trump than good. The numbers are there. There's an estimated 21.9 million women in the United States between the ages of 20 and 39 who don't have children, and then some over that age. And how about this? Maybe Governor Huckabee Sanders should pay more attention to the actual children who live in her state. A recent report says that Arkansas is number 45 in the nation for child well-being. The author of that report, the Annie E. Casey Foundation, said too many children in Arkansas are living in poverty, dying young, or giving birth before adulthood. Maybe she should just stick to her knitting.
All right, Sue, last question. We know a lot of polls are out there showing that this race is neck and neck, but we know one area where Kamala Harris is struggling is on immigration. Why is Trump's messaging on this issue so successful that it's keeping him out in front of her when it comes to immigration?
Yeah, I think it's basically branding, right? From a branding viewpoint, this has been a classic Trump and Republican Party issue, and Harris and the Democrats are basically trying to catch up. Trump just keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again, whether it's true or not, while Harris has to actually present new policy while battling Trump's disinformation. She does have an opportunity here, though, to pull the issue away at least a little bit from Trump and the Republicans, because while he's continuing to talk about mass deportations and causing all of this crazy chaos and pain in Ohio, Harris could actually gain some ground by presenting the serious solutions to the border and immigration that she has on her website, which you can go visit. Both candidates, you can visit their websites.
All right, Sue, thank you very much for your insight. As always, we appreciate it. And remember, we cover all the latest political headlines nationally and locally every Sunday morning here on NBC 10 Boston. It gets started with Meet the Press at 10:30, and then join myself, Sue O'Connell, and Matt Pritchard for the latest edition of At Issue.